What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Revenge of the Creature, the sequel to The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Revenge of the Creature tells the story of the creature pretty much being taken from his Amazon habitat and being put on public display inside of an aquarium, where he eventually breaks free and wreaks some havoc. So that's the overall basic premise of the sequel. Let's talk about it. Now, I overall think that Revenge of the Creature is a very good movie, though I think it's a movie that has some wasted potential to it, and I'm going to explain why. So, but first and foremost, I overall think the cast of this movie is much more stronger than that of the first movie. I think that the characters of Cleet, Joe, and Helen, played by John Agar, John Broomfield, and Laurie Nelson, respectively, are actually much more better written and actually much more likable characters. Particularly that of Cleet and particularly of the characters of Cleet and Helen, who are pretty much our two lead heroes, and they're also in a budding romantic relationship. And I actually think that the chemistry between Agar and Nelson is much more stronger than the characters of Richard Carlson and Jane Addams from that first movie. I think Agar and Nelson have a better on-screen chemistry with one another. I think their relationship, I think their relationship had much more time to blossom, and I, as a viewer, actually cared about them once the creature started to wreak havoc and started to turn his attention to wanting to get the character of Helen. And I also think that just in general, Agar and Nelson were just, to me, are just much more better actors, and they seem to have a much more better fit into their characters. I also like the character of Joe, played by John Broomfield. He is the third wheel in a love triangle, but it's not a cringy love triangle. You can tell that Joe has an infatuation with Helen, but at the same time, he kind of has a playful, antagonistic relationship with the character of Cleet, though there is a certain amount of respect between the two of them. And I like how the movie handled that, and I thought it was done very well. From a visual and production standpoint, this movie is once again directed by Jack Arnold, and just like that first movie, he did a fantastic job with this movie. This movie, from a visual standpoint, is just as beautiful and gorgeous looking as the first movie, and I like the juxtaposition of taking the creature out of the Amazon and then putting him into the real world, so to speak. It's almost as if the Amazon is like this otherworldly place, a place out of time, and now the Gillman is being taken out of that place out of time and being put in the real world. And I think Jack Arnold, from a visual standpoint, did a real good job at distincting the Amazon from the real world very well. And like I said, from an overall directorial angle, this movie is shot and looks beautiful. Uh, the Gillman, once again, he looks fantastic. He looks fantastic. He is vicious. He is ferocious, like he was in the first movie, and also like in the first movie, we also get to see the softer side of the creature when he starts to get an attraction for Helen, who is now his new love interest, continuing that Beauty of the Beast motif from that first movie. So, you're saying to yourself, "Well, so the way you talk about it, it's like this movie is outdoing the first movie all the way possible." You know, the production value is fantastic. The characters sound like they're much more developed in this movie and much better overall. The action of the creature in this movie is done fairly well. The first 15 minutes of this movie is actually really good and shows the creature getting captured, which is fantastic. It's a good action sequence. So yeah, a lot of good elements in this movie were, to me, they improved the first movie, but I also have some issues with the sequel. While it had a lot of things that I enjoyed, it had things that I didn't like. Not because I thought they were terrible, but because I thought more could have been done. The whole concept of the creature being held captive in this aquarium is actually really interesting. And we actually get to see the creature pretty much be held captive. And we sympathize with the Gill Man. He is a creature out of his natural habitat, and we get to see the creature, on display inside of an aquarium out of his natural habitat, and that was handled very well. It's when the creature breaks free is where I think this movie had lost potential. So pretty much when the creature breaks free, he goes on a rampage. He kills the character of Joe. He kind of, sort of terrorizes the aquarium before he leaves. and then he just leaves, and then he has scenes peppered out because now he's looking for the Helen character. This is to me where the potential of this movie kind of goes a little flat. Once the creature kills Joe, I think he should have continued his rampage throughout the aquarium. You know, maybe killing and attacking a few spectators, and maybe killing and attacking a few more workers at the aquarium, just to really sell the overall threat of the creature, and just to like actually, you know, play on to the title that this is the revenge of the creature. No, the creature is going to get revenge for you taking him out of his home and putting him putting him in a place where he doesn't want to be. Now he's out for revenge. I never got I never got that feeling while watching this movie and watching the creature just break free from his habitat. It it looks like the only revenge he got was that he killed the character of Joe, who actually played a hand in capturing the creature at the beginning of the movie, and then he just leaves, goes to the ocean. You see him appear here and there in a couple of scenes as he's looking for the character of Helen. He eventually gets the character of Helen, and then he kills just these two boys walking down a beach when they see Helen unconscious, and then the creature is shot and presumably killed at the end of the movie. That's pretty much it. It's a lot of the creature's actions and a lot is told through dialogue with these interspliced news sections, and we never really get the sense that the creature is causing any terror. Now, I want to see the creature cause terror. I don't want to hear about the creature causing terror. This movie lets us hear the creature cause terror, and then we get like a 2-minute scene of him just walking around doing something until he finally finds Helen, kidnaps her, and then you get to the climax. I never got the sense of the creature being a looming threat to the population of Florida, to the population of where he is. I mean, the whole setting of where he is the Florida Everglades, and in color, it would have looked absolutely, it would have had an eerie elegance to it. In black and white, it kind of has a gothic look to it, which I'm not really a big fan of because The Creature from the Black Lagoon is not really a gothic movie. It's horror sci-fi, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, never got the sense of the creature being a overall looming threat. I think the creature would have had a much more threat if it was a combination of seeing the creature attack multiple people on his way to Helen, interspliced with the news sections. Instead, the creature's basically just walking around. He's stalking a girl, he kills a dog, then he walks away until he finally gets to Helen and then kidnaps her. I mean, I like the overall budding infatuation the creature has with Helen because I grew to like Helen more than I grew to like the character of Kay from the first movie, but I just think the execution of the creature going on a rampage was really downplayed, which is kind of a shame because you could have done some really cool stuff with the creature in pretty much in a populated area. You know, he's in the cities now. It would have been cool to see him terrorized, but we didn't really get that. So, but yeah. This movie had a lot of good things to it, and it had a lot of things that are okay, but could have been done so much better. But if I'm going to rate this movie on its own 2 feet, it is a good, solid sequel. It's a good follow-up to the first movie. It tells a really interesting story, but I just don't think the execution was done properly. But I do like Revenge of the Creature on par with the first movie, though I think the first movie is much better. But I am going to give the Revenge of the Creature a solid 8 out of 10. Because it is a good sequel. It is a good monster movie. But it could have been done so much better. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe. And I'll check you back next time for more.